In news from Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka's top court has granted permission for proceedings against former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the rights group which filed the case against him said in a statement on Friday. The case calls for accountability for the island nation's leadership for its worst financial crisis in more than 7 decades.
Sri Lanka's Supreme Court has granted permission for proceedings against former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The rights group Transparency International, which filed the case against him, said in a statement on Friday, calling for accountability for the island nation's leadership for its worst financial crisis in more than 7 decades. The court also agreed to allow proceedings against the country's former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, former Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa, and 2 of its former central bank governors. The South Asian island of 22 million people is battling its worst economic strife in 70 years as the debt crisis has led to an acute dollar shortage to pay for essential imports of food, fuel and medicine, a plunge in the rupee currency and runaway inflation. The top court has ordered the Auditor General will have to conduct an audit and submit a report by November 30 on the decisions by Rajapaksa administration in respect to setting the value of the Sri Lankan rupee at Rs 203 against the US dollar and delay in seeking IMF assistance, among others. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who was the then president, fled the country in July after a public uprising over the months-long economic crisis, and the new president Ranil Wickremesinghe has now an uphill task to put the country's heavy debt back on track, maintain political stability, and finalize a $2.9 billion bailout plan from the International Monetary Fund.